We do this every week.
It's your fault.
I mean, everything's my fault, pal. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. At least
as soon as all three of us get in here, you just hit the red button, and then we're good. And then you figure out where to put the.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
Gentlemen, we are whole once again. I guess I better unmute Derek, huh? Did I? Oh, I did unmute Derek.
Did you mute me?
Yeah, because you were talking during the intro, pal. I was just,
we're muted during the intro anyway. That says we're muted.
Yeah, but for some reason, Derek was free and clear. And he just
welcome back to humanity.
Yeah, pal.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's nice to have power again.
Died. What happened?
It's nice to have power, and well, there was some rain and some storms, and I, as we all know, I live out in the middle of nowhere, and things don't get tended to as they should be if you were living in the middle of the city. So I tend to struggle with power.
Power.
The electricity's a little iffy.
So what you're saying is somebody drowned that hamster down in the holler.
Yeah.
How many days were you out of power?
Definitely just Sunday. Sunday, Monday. Well, not Monday. Monday after work, I came home. I was fine.
Oh, did you have internet
working Monday after work? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we thought that you got super drunk and just passed out all Sunday.
No, I try not to do that. No, there was that one time. Couldn't recover. But no.
I did not think about how hard the rain was running down my street.
No, it's very possible if you were to get some random text from me that sounded a little crazy, and then I don't respond at like an hour or so later.
Okay, so that would go. But if it's pouring hard rain and I just can't get a hold of you via the internet, the problem is the problem is the holler, not
basically.
Okay, all right. Okay,
there's no Facebook, there's no Xbox Live. Well, Derek must be dead to the internet world.
Okay, well, I'm glad it's not a substance abuse issue, and I'm glad.
So let me give a little context for our listeners here. So Saturday night at like 11:40, I'm driving home from work. I was on the scrub shift, the closing shift.
You charge? Fuck.
Yeah, well, sometimes you gotta put in time. Sometimes
you just gotta eat the shit.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta eat the shit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm on my way home and my phone starts ringing and it's Derek is calling your group message. So me and Tom, and so I fully expect Tom to not be, anywhere near his phone or the internet. He's probably sleeping, dreaming of being Spider-Man or some shit like that, right?
That's pretty accurate, I guess.
So I hit ignore on the call, and I make the critical error of calling Derek back on Saturday night as I'm driving home, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm on my way home from work, pal. What do you?" I went to a wedding today. I'm fucking drunk.
Okay.
And I'm going to bed. Talk to you later. Click.
I knew all this, by the way, on Sunday morning.
So, not.
It was a good wedding.
So
good luck, Jeremy and Laura Lee. Great couple.
Great shout out. I love it. Good shout out.
So you have to understand our concern a little bit, pal.
Right.
So
that makes more sense now because I didn't actually recollect calling you and telling you this.
That's good. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Put into perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Aside from that, I saw actually that there was a couple wrestling shows this week.
Yeah. Hey, so here's the thing, right? So we asked you how your day was, right? How things are going. We didn't get to talk to Tom, and you're trying to rush the conversation.
Oh, my apologies.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, just let me drive the bus when it comes to Wrestle Talk, pal, okay?
Well, I figured, you needed a little help every once in a while. It's like that movie Speed.
Walt doesn't need
back
help.
in the 90s.
I don't.
Like, you got to keep it above 55, otherwise the bomb explodes, and then we get.
I can assure you, the Walt can carry the load. He's got big shoulders.
Sounded bad, pal.
Sorry. Well,
yeah, he's a carrier.
So, Tom, how we doing, bud?
Good. Watched some Little League baseball tonight. I'm not sure who won, but that's how Little League baseball goes.
Yeah, well.
Work has been insane. It's insanity at work. Somehow mushed insane and insanity together. So that's really fun when people call you. Can you have this to me in 20 minutes? Like, this is a 2.5 hour project on minimum. Give me an hour. So anyway, it's been that kind of week. I haven't got anything done that I wanted to get done, but I'm somehow ahead now because everybody is impatient. So I don't know. Anyway, otherwise good. Watched some baseball. I'm feeling kind of dusty because I just got in and haven't had a shower. I got some crispy boys here though, so I'm in good shape. Walt.
Yeah.
What's up with you? I hear you have some lighthearted goodness to tell us.
Yeah, so I got a feel good story. So I've recently fallen back into love with whiskey, right?
Right.
We've talked about this, and I was on a hunt the other day, and I was at a liquor store, and I was standing there looking at the whiskey, and I hear this guy say to me, "Is it always like this around here, bud?" And I'm like, "Well, a little bit this, that, the other, whatever." So we start talking. Okay. My guy is a retired United States Marine. Okay.
Those guys know their whiskey.
Actually, 2 days retired.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So he's on his way back to home from DC, Maryland. Right. And he's like, "Oh man, I hit every liquor store on the way home." I proceeded to talk to this gentleman for about 35 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And we both made our selections and went our separate ways, and we're walking out to the parking lot. And he's like, "Hey, bud, where you parked at?" And I said, "Oh, man, I'm right here." He's like, "Oh, I'm right next to you." He's like, "Come look at all the cool stuff that I got today." I'm like, all right, man, cool. Like, I really just want to get home to my wife, man. Like, and he's like, "Oh, man, it'll only take a minute. Come over here. Come check this out." So he starts showing me all the stuff that he picked up. And, we were kind of talking a little bit about his service and stuff like that while we were going through the bottles. And so he hands me this bottle of Henry McKenna 10-year, bottled in bond. Okay. It won whiskey of the year at some point, I think it was like 2018. It's really hard to find in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's like, I picked 3 of these up today. And I'm like, "Oh, man, that's awesome." Like, really hard to find, and heard it's really good. He's like, "Yeah, it's good, whatever," and talking back and forth. And he's like, "Yeah, so like I said, I got these 3 bottles." He goes, "Well, now I only have 2 because I want you to have that one." And I'm like, "Bro, I can't take this. Like, it's like $100 bottle of whiskey on the secondary market, and it's impossible to find up here." And I was like, "Man, I can't take this, like." He's like, "Nah, I insist. I really insist." And I've had a nice little conversation after that, went our separate ways. And I mean, it just goes to show you that there's still good people in the world, man.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't approach me.
I would.
I
don't know.
You're cuddly.
I don't. You're fine. I think if I was 22 and meek, maybe I wouldn't approach you. Just to
see, it's funny. Whenever I was younger and 22 and meek, these are the people I approached. That's gonna be my friend.
Seriously, one of my favorite people when I was like a little kid, or not a little kid, but like 25, was this lady we worked with that everybody was terrified of, and she was only like 3 or 4 years older than us. But you know, I'm not that tall of a guy. I'm like 5'10", like maybe 5'11" with my shoes on, right? So she's a solid 6'2", and like she was probably 200-ish pounds, 220 pounds maybe. So like she's like big and tall and loud and like kind of mean, but also really sweet all at the same time. And she was like the kitchen manager. She's you, basically. Just, you know, a lady and tall, but she was about as tall as you. And anyway, her name was Lindsay. Great person. Literally, she was like the person I latched onto. And it was like every time I'd like make her, I knew she wasn't going to punch me.
Right.
And that was like, it was like, Lindsay, I made a mistake. Can you help me? God damn it. You know, cuss you up and down. But then you're like, if you're nice and genuine to them, like they are, like with you, you know, it's something that just kind of goes, you know, they help you. It works out. And we're still friends to this day.
That's good. And that's what it's about, man. You know, and it's like this guy just like randomly, it's crazy. Like, I had a really hard time like wrapping my head around it because I've never had anything like that happen to me before.
No, that's really sweet. That's awesome.
So like awesome. Every time I reach for this bottle, like I'm gonna have a really cool story to remember. You know what I mean? And like that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna enjoy a little bit of it, and let's make this happen. Let's talk about.
Cheers to
wrestling.
him, and thank him for his service.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Cheers.
Derek's not what you got? You're not drinking?
I've got orange pop. I have beers in the freezer.
Cheers
still
to
waiting on them.
I feel you. Okay. Buy them shits warm.
Give me a minute or so, and you know, I'll pop out for a minute, and then I'll come back and hey,
good deal. All right, cool. So, hey man, let's just keep it rolling. Let's talk about some feel good stories. How about Seth Rollins this past week, guys? Like, if this is not the most wholesome thing to ever happen in pro wrestling like this in recent memory, like I don't know what is. You know, this picture goes viral of Seth Rollins just like shopping at this little girl's roadside lemonade stand, and man, that's cool. It's really cool.
It's fantastic. It shows the human side of you know, wrestlers and of life in general. It's the nice things like that we should see more often. It's so much in the news is the negative, and all the terrible things is what gets you the clicks. It's not the heartwarming stories of, you know, we're stopping at a roadside lemonade stand with a 10-year-old girl. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. She didn't even know who he was. That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. That's great.
I mean, that's awesome. But I mean, apparently the bystander knew who it was.
Yeah.
So
apparently he's a wonderful person in person. Him, like, and that's why like he was always a face. Same with Roman Reigns. Like those two, like they're like beloved in the locker room as just like leaders and guys who know what they're talking about. Super happy to help. So
yeah,
that's why they're always like, you know, clearly like to us we're like, but they're such a better face. But like in the locker room, it's like it's hard. Like these people like love these people because they're so like just such good people and so like good-hearted and good-natured. I feel like it was maybe the same with the Undertaker, but he maybe took it a little more seriously and maybe was like not disliked, but a little more stern.
He was more like the judge, you know.
That was also at a time whenever, you know, the locker room was filled with a different type of individual too, you know. And we've talked about this in the past after the Undertaker did his appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast, but like, I don't know, man. Like this is cool to me, and I'm like super pumped to see something good, you know, come out of the professional wrestling world on the internet. It's always fun.
I'm ready to see him take back over another show and make it.
Yes,
because like he's playing second fiddle on SmackDown, and but like even when he comes out on SmackDown, he's clearly like the other pinnacle of the show. And I'm not saying he's got to carry a show for like years and years and then like just keep doing it, and especially, you know, get married, having a baby, all that stuff. So, you know, good on him. But
I mean, and here's the thing. Here's the thing about him too, though. But he put he's helped to elevate Cesaro and put Cesaro into that spot now too. So now he can go and do the same thing on a Monday Night Raw.
Sure.
Right? I mean, that's the dream here.
I mean, he definitely needs to go to Monday Night Raw and do something, because at this point, nothing is happening on Monday Night Raw. There's absolutely no reason to tune in. I really don't care.
My God, are you correct? It's the same show every week, dude.
Yeah, but Cesaro, I still don't even think is elevated enough at this point in Vince's mind that he's going to make him some sort of, attraction. No, it's not going to happen.
But I think he's going to at least I think he's going to at least be in the main event picture for a little while, and I think.
I mean, can he wrestle at that level? Absolutely, but Vince will never.
I feel like that. Look, that stuff's been good, man. I'm not. And that's so. SmackDown gets a lot of eyes on it, and that stuff's pretty high. Like, it's really it's really faring really well. Like, a lot of people really still dig SmackDown, so I'm not. It's the best wrestling show on TV, and it
is the flagship show. It's the flagship show of WWE.
It's pretty.
Raw is not any longer, no matter what they say.
As somebody who watches pretty much all of it, I'm going to tell you that SmackDown is almost my can't miss TV. Whereas I'm fine to go back to the others and kind of fuss through them, a little bit. But anyway,
I mean, I can understand that piece of it, but I mean, for my dollar, man, there's not a better wrestling show than NXT right now.
Well, this week I wasn't as super over it, but go on, Walt. Let's
man, I'm just saying, like, let's.
It's poised to get better.
Yes, it's going to get much better.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. So I agree with you, Tom. SmackDown it's a good show. Like, it's definitely one that when I sit down in my time to watch wrestling, it's probably, 1A, 1B of the first show that I'm going to watch for the week. Cause I do most of my watching many nights later. Right. And, I'll tell you what, man, if I was in a situation to sit down and watch that show every Friday night, I definitely would. But if I was in a situation where I was able to watch NXT, I'm 1,000,000% tuning into NXT live before anything else. And for me, it's because Triple H has done some great things down there, and he's focused on the character, but the wrestling is the in-ring and the presentation has taken precedent on that product. And I really like the direction that things are going there. I really do. And it's a good show. And now they turn around and they bring Samoa Joe back.
Yeah. Let's talk about how exciting that is.
Like, what was it? 4 weeks ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, Samoa Joe got released, and we came in here in complete and utter shock.
We were like, "What are you doing?"
And immediately we assumed Impact or AEW, right? Immediately.
I mean, how do you not immediately, like, if you're another wrestling company, how do you not go, "That's the toppest guy"?
Right.
That's the guy, right?
But hold on, can I jump in here, Tom? Yeah. The fact that you said that if as another wrestling company, Walt and I actually spoke about this earlier this week, is what if in this whole scheme of things, Vince McMahon actually separates NXT and it is a whole separate wrestling company, and he goes on to sell SmackDown and Raw as the WWE brand. NXT is a whole nother brand. I know it's wild. I know this is a crazy aspect, but it's funny that you brought that up because that would kind of seamlessly went in.
I didn't think of it in that respect. I figured it was all under the same umbrella and it would all have to go at the same time. But
that's what you would assume. But
if it's not that far fetched.
No, I mean, look, corporate mergers and sales and all that stuff happens all the time. Like, you could you could say, look, I don't want this overproduced horse shit. I just. Like, if Triple H and Stephanie are just like, no, we'll just leave us NXT.
I feel like it's becoming more and more clear at this point too that it is a separate brand. Honestly, they work autonomously from the major two brands. It seems like as far as hiring talent and whatnot. I mean, I'm sure Vince has the final say, but if Triple H obviously went to Vince and was like, "Hey,"
no, I mean he maybe has the final say in money and expense, but I think that NXT really, you're right, is more or less Triple H's baby, and that's the. Right. No, honestly, I didn't think about it in that regard. I really didn't, and now that you said that out loud, I'm like, oh damn, might they do that? Because honestly, that could be better for wrestling as a whole because that creates 3 major companies.
Exactly.
And
at that point, Vince is out. He doesn't care. And honestly, that company is probably going to take a nosedive if you compare it to the legacy that's going to be NXT, because it's still going to be tied to classic WWF, classic WWE. Right. It's going to have the namesake going with it. And then we're going to have AEW as a, already.
Well, it'll just create a triple. Man, it'll be something we've never seen before. There'll be competition between 3 brands. That'll be tremendous. And a lot of money, and not a lot of money, maybe not a lot of money in NXT, but a lot of money back in all 3. So it's that's like I said, to think about.
I don't think that it's that far-fetched. I think that could definitely be something that happens. I mean, we just have to keep our eyes on it. We're not sure at this point. This is just
it probably won't, but let's.
Right. I tell you what, it's still an exclusive.
100%.
Fucking Dave Meltzer shit going on over here.
So, but hey, man,
if it happens, we can be like, we call
it. If it happens, there's screenshots of our text messages and everything. Everybody better fuck with us.
Oh shit, yeah, man. But that's wild. But seriously, let's talk about the product though.
Samoa Joe. Let's bring back Samoa Joe.
So we talk about this guy, right? And we're like, I can't believe this. This is insanity. Why would you release Samoa Joe, right? And then I sent you guys the thing that he was spotted at the Performance Center, and I think Derek had the quote of the year. He canceled his membership, but his 90 days was still, he was within his last night. Whatever you said, it was real funny.
Yeah, you can still show up. I mean, it's fine. You've got 90 days at the training center.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine.
But yeah, so that was really funny. And then I'm like, I don't know, man. Like Samoa Joe at the Performance Center is kind of a big deal. And then we find out, back with NXT, Triple H couldn't wait to get him off the market. They just had.
How do you think Vince feels about that? Whenever he's instantly like, "Sorry, pops, you're wrong."
It's Derek's right. Like, what happens if Samoa Joe gets himself cleared and gets himself back in the ring? And I mean, they're already setting up Samoa Joe feuds with Karrion Kross. Like, it
seems like to me that Joe's ability to wrestle may be dwindling in the sense of not that he couldn't still go. I don't think he's cleared still to this day. I think that his concussion issues are still recurring. And I think it's potentially like a Daniel Bryan type of situation. Number 2, Samoa Joe is 45 years old. Daniel Bryan got his concussions in his 30s or whatever. Samoa Joe is almost how old is Edge? What, 47?
Yes.
So Samoa Joe is 2 years younger than Edge. And we called Edge an old geezer. The old geezers are coming back. Blah, 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 blah. Like Samoa Joe is 45.
We didn't call him an old geezer.
But Derek did.
Yeah, Derek did.
Anyway, so 2 years is not a big age gap. And if you have concussion issues at 45, it's a lot different than having concussion issues at 34 or whatever, or 36 or whatever. So, does it suck that it's potential that he's not cleared? He may never actually be cleared to wrestle again. Does that suck? Yeah, and maybe he got that diagnosis, and maybe that's what happened behind the scenes. He got that diagnosis of you may never come back. And Joe's making $1 million a year to wrestle, and it's like, well, we don't really pay commentators $1 million a year, so sorry, Joe. So Joe's like, all right, that's fine, but on his way. But then Triple H is like, yo, I can't offer you $1 million, but you want to talk 3-4 segments on SmackDown or on NXT every week? Here's $500,000 or $400K a year, and it's like,
right. You're not, and then we'll see if we can get you medically cleared down the road.
And if you can get it medically cleared, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But come be on my show and make it a better show. Here's money. And it's just like, well, shit. Yeah. That makes me want to watch it more.
Yeah.
Right.
And think about it too. Like that's win-win because you get Samoa Joe back in the fold, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's a brilliant wrestling mind. So like you got that going for you. And then also everybody wants to see him, man. Everybody wants to see it happen. It's Samoa Joe. Like we want Joe. We want to see Joe successful in WWE, right?
And,
that's what it's
and
about.
If Joe's talking, not, you know, he can't have a match necessarily, but if he could like just choke somebody out.
Oh, he nabbed up Adam Cole.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I think that this is going to be a lot of fun. I really do.
I'm all for it. I'm invested. I'm here for it. And truthfully, I didn't know when Samoa Joe was released. I was like, oh my God, like this sucks. Like I just give me more Samoa Joe. I feel like I've been cheated. Right. That's how I felt. I felt cheated. And now I feel like, oh, I've now been given the best case scenario. like I went from like worst to like now it's the best case scenario. So I'm super into it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Derek, what do you think Samoa Joe is going to do for NXT, pal?
Well, previously, like I've said, I mean, honestly, guys, I just don't have the same love for Samoa Joe that you guys do. So I was just kind of letting you sit there and get your spooge fest on there and just let you go at it.
I'm just gonna go ahead and interrupt real quick, okay?
Go on. It's fine.
If you really want to split hairs, right? So the reason that you don't appreciate Samoa Joe in the way that Tom and I do is because you didn't take the time to go back and appreciate what he did when he wasn't in NXT and when he wasn't in the WWE. So that's the only sample size that you have, which is why you don't respect Samoa Joe.
Well, you see what's funny about that argument is the last time that we had this conversation, the one segment that you guys tried to sell me on was him versus AJ Styles and the whole Wendy. Yeah. So
it was phenomenal.
Yeah. But
even in NXT,
makes sense though. Your argument is now
hold on, pause. Shut up.
Yeah.
He's got two NXT title reigns. Two. And his matches with Finn Balor, when he beat the Finn Balor demon, oh my God. Dude, oh my God. Like you just go watch the matches.
But I told you to go back to the AJ Styles and Wendy thing because that was a good feud.
It was great.
Whenever my Starlink internet comes in, I'll consider it. The amount of effort it takes to run on a 3.5 megabyte DSL connection, it takes a minute.
God, that friggin' hamster.
I can't.
Dude. Tell Elon Musk to figure it out.
Hold on.
I've got my deposit in. I just want my satellite, buddy.
I just want to point out that the reason you're not a huge Samoa Joe fan is because you live down in the holler and have terrible internet.
In a van down by the holler.
Right. In a van down by the holler. Okay. So, yeah, just get better internet so you can be a Samoa Joe fan, I guess.
You know, I even tried to buy TNA at one point, and they weren't selling the pay-per-views. And I feel like last episode, maybe the one before, Wold actually mentions that now they do get the pay-per-views with the thing. And I try so hard, but they just make it so difficult, man. They make it so difficult for me to want to spend my own money on them.
Yeah, I'll give you that, pal.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay. You get a pass this time.
That's 2 for 2.
However, you do have a smartphone with YouTube on it. Just saying. Anyway,
I hope Samoa Joe never comes up again because I don't think I have any more excuses now. I'm spent.
So since we're talking about release talent, right? You know, I'm a sucker for a good pro wrestling drama. Okay, I really am. Well, we come in here, we talk about it every week, right? But this to me is just like keeping up with the Kardashians-esque bullshit that I just am not a fan of. And Lana said that she promises to speak out about things that she has seen and been kept silent of that happened in WWE. Has anybody watched her 24 documentary on the network?
Pick me.
Yeah, pick him because
Derek.
I'll take Lashley's dick for 100, please, Alex.
We went there already? We're that quick, huh? Bam.
So you derailed me, pal.
I don't know that I was ever railed.
I popped the host
off-roading somewhere.
You fucking derailed me, pal. I got nothing.
Bam. Go ahead, Derek. What's it like?
Moving on.
Is it veiny?
Oh man.
Moving on. Jesus criminy. Derek. Hey, so how about Sonya Deville's training for an in-ring?
Wait, we're just not even going to talk about that.
I'm done. I'm done. He shut it down. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. Fuck it. I'm done.
Alexa, next.
Sonya Deville training for an in-ring return, guys. Worth the wait? Long overdue. Tom.
So her backstage role has been the highlight of her career, in my opinion. She's great. Fantastic backstage. I think she and Adam Pearce they're the perfect foils. They're excellent. All of their segments, they work. I like when she talks. Absolutely get back in shape. I'm glad she's not quite so torn up about the stalker incident. That's why she was not wrestling and why she was taking a break. Absolutely get back in shape, get back in the ring, do your thing. I mean, she's been an athlete her whole life, do that. But I wouldn't say, from my perspective, if she was to be like, okay, no, I don't want to be a backstage talent anymore. I want to go back to being a wrestler. I don't know that that's necessarily, or just a wrestler or whatever. I don't know that that's necessarily the best step for her to take, because I feel like what she's been doing backstage has just been so on the money. And now maybe she can translate that into being an on the money, great promo, great wrestler, great, top tier champion, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair type of wrestler. Maybe she can. And if she can, good for her. But if not, I feel like her backstage stuff has been phenomenal. I feel like it's been better than her in-ring career thus far.
So here's my opinion on what you're saying. So like, when the whole thing with her in-ring career, right? She was always like pigeonholed into this Fire and Desire tag team with Mandy Rose. Okay. She never had that chance to speak to herself. So when she got into that singles role and she started to have that character come out, the mean, she was just a dastardly heel, right? She tried to cut Mandy Rose's hair. When she was able to rely on her own skills as opposed to having to share the spotlight with her best friend, who in a normal circumstance, you would probably take that spotlight, but you want your friend to be successful too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like, and then when WWE finally made the call to break them up and she went off and she did her own thing, her in-ring work was exponentially better than it was as a tag team wrestler. Now she still had a lot of things that she needed to put together, and she still needed to work on some of those things, right? But that was taken from us.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think that with the quick turnaround that she did have coming out of that tag team thing, had it not been for this incident, she would be a world champion right now.
I mean, maybe you're right. I'm not I'm not saying you're wrong. I think she needed I think she needs some more flashy moves. I think she needs a better finisher. I think she needs maybe even a setup to the finisher, a couple, big crowd popping moves, especially now. I think that, her in-ring work is good. It's fine, but she needs it to be that top tier level talent. She needs the, rock bottom, the people's elbow, the big over exaggerated punch. She needs a couple of those things. And she doesn't really have those things to where, a lot of her, Sasha has the backstabber into into the crippler cross face.
Right, but Sasha Banks also isn't being portrayed as a badass either, a la Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler. That's the same way that I look at Sonya Deville leading into.
But Shayna's got her own moves, and Shayna's legitimate. Like Shayna matches look abusive. She looks like she's abusing them. There's a lot of knee strikes.
Maybe she is.
Shayna does the thing where she stomps on the fingers. That's just it looks chills your spine, and it looks real bad. I mean, and then she puts them in the Karafuda clutch, right? Yeah, she puts them in the Karafuda clutch, and it's just, it looks like they're dying, and so Shayna's already got that, but Sonya doesn't. So I feel like that's a good comparison, because you're right. Like, she needs to be portrayed as dangerous, but she doesn't have that, like, oh my god, she brought like when I watch Sonya wrestle, I'm not like, I don't cringe like, oh fuck, that hurt. I do like when Shayna wrestles, you're uncomfortable. Like when she wins, it's like, man, she really hurt her. Do you remember? I'll bring it up again. Do you remember when she picked up Liv Morgan and just smashed her into the cage?
Right.
It's burned into my brain. Like, just beat her. Like, just like she was a god. And it was horrifying, right? It was like, it made you watch it and you went. Like,
and then they dropped the ball with her.
They did, but still, I'm just saying, Sonya doesn't have that. Like, there's that sparks never hit me with Sonya, and I feel like
at the same point in time, though, pal, we didn't get there.
I'm just saying, if they're going to go that route with it and do it right, go for it.
Because some crazy asshole decided to break into Sonya Deville's house in the middle of the night and get his ass whooped by her.
Well,
and
listen,
Rose.
Either way, I was not convinced that Sonya had the in-ring ability to have as who the fuck are we talking about here?
See, folks.
Shayna Baszler. Stop it.
No. Nobody changes the goalposts, okay? Derek just misses the fucking field goal. So if I have to hear this shit one more time,
I have moments that you'll edit out, even though last time I told you to edit the one shit out and you didn't.
It was funny. It was funny.
It wasn't funny. I was going around on my lawnmower listening to it and was like, "That's not."
Just like this. This isn't going to come out because this is just us. I mean,
it's laziness. That's what it is.
Have to. No, it's not laziness. We have to show that we have a little bit of personality, pal. I mean, we are three individuals that
he has to show us. Watch you wiggle like a fixture a little bit.
Sometimes I make it upstream like a nice salmon, and other times I'm floundering in there like a tuna or something,
and tuna, like a fish out of water.
Dude, a tuna is like a strong fish. You're gonna tell me that a tuna that lives and swims in the ocean,
they get in the nets,
can't make it up a stream?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know about
shit I've ever heard.
Dude, I don't eat tuna. I don't like tuna. I don't eat. No. I don't.
More like a flounder.
Yeah, I think that's what I said.
Flat and stupid,
or a clownfish.
A clownfish like Nemo. My daughter's currently into Finding Nemo like daily.
Hey, listen. Here's the thing, right? So I dog on Derek, right?
Right.
I mean, that's my buddy. But like, check this out. So I go and I delivered a table today. Derek bought my kitchen table, man, and my man got me a Ric Flair Royal Rumble edition Funko. Like, it's got like a pin, a collector's pin in there.
I kind of want that.
How badass is that?
That's excellent. Like, good job, Derek. That's excellent. Wait, how much? That's excellent.
Like, and he's got a big gold on his shoulder.
Yeah, I've seen the Funko. He's got a big gold.
It was a pretty good Funko.
That's a good one.
That's dope.
Where'd you get that?
That's my man.
Well, it was a GameStop exclusive, but I got it off of like toyfactory.com or something like that. I had to look it up.
Okay.
But it was like, it was a .com, random.com.
So Derek, were you salty that like I didn't mention it to this point?
No, I didn't even expect you to mention it, to be honest with you.
I had it.
Kind of awkward. I don't need recognition. That's not what I'm here for.
See, that's why I'm always like kind of defensive of him, but at the same time, like,
no,
tell him to shut up. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, so. I'm just here, for a good time, not for recognition.
Let's bring back Sonya. Next topic.
No, let's just leave her where she is. She's done the best work she has done up to this point in her career. That's where I was going to go with all my commentary.
She has, but if she gets to keep talking and wrestle, and maybe the wrestling's good, then
I don't care to see her wrestle.
World champion.
But it's going to be another Lana thing. I don't care.
What if it's good and you care?
I mean, maybe she'll be good, but odds are no. It's like picking in the third round of the draft in the NHL. Odds are they should be good, but are they going to be? I don't know. But they're great at this particular thing. On the bench, they're a great general manager, assistant general manager, a player coach. So maybe I'll just utilize them in this aspect.
What, are we playing video games now, pal?
No. My bad.
I mean, you sound like
I'm trying to live like we're still in the playoffs. We're not. We're done.
I mean,
it's over.
You're playing Be a GM right now.
My bad.
Speaking of Be a GM, did you know that AEW has a new mobile game coming out soon?
I did. Mobile games suck.
Elite GM is what they're going to call it.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
We're still waiting for their console release.
That's exactly what we're waiting for.
Take a long time. AEW hasn't been around long enough to have fully developed a console.
I will gladly give them 2 years to show me something, and then by the end of 3 years, I should have a product in my hand.
I don't know that their bottom line is going to allow that game to wait 2 or 3 years, pal, because according to the earnings report that just was released, AEW is in the red because of their giant investment into their video games that have yet to bear any fruit on their tree.
I mean, that's how that goes.
And that's what this is an investment in the future. They knew going into this. Well, they didn't know that there was going to be a pandemic, obviously. Well, they knew we're going to go down to at least 0. And then, holy shit, there's a pandemic. Well, you're going to have to take some loans out from an investor. And it is what it is.
Well, luckily, their investor.
Maybe your dad.
with $1 billion. Yeah, with a couple $1 billion.
Yeah. And on top of this, did you guys see that Shad Khan said that he did not think AEW was a good idea when Tony approached him about it?
I mean, that makes sense.
No, I mean, I don't know that. Well, we would be proud of our children, but yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about, though. So, like, you bring up Tony Khan's dad, he's not gonna. Derek, go get your beer.
I was gonna say I'll be right back.
So I'll wait. I'll clip this out. Whatever. Fucking 30-second little thing. Do you have to pee, Tom? You got to pee?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Are we pausing?
I mean, we're talking AEW. He's got to feel included.
All right, I'm gonna go wee then.
Okay.
You're really gonna take this out?
I will really take this out.
I don't know that I believe you.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not going to take this out. I'm just not. So, this thing's really cool, man. Like, Derek really hooked me up on this. I'm not even going to take it out of the box, bro, because, like, this was a gift, and, like, my man hooked me up. I'm, like, real pumped on this. I don't know, man. Like, for me, this whole video game thing, like, I think that, with the way that they set this up, right, is they're like, okay, we've got to have a console game, especially coming off of a year where WWE's console game was dog shit, and it was glitchy as fuck, and nobody wanted it around, and it was the talk of the internet, right? So AEW jumps in both feet. They plan all their budgets around ticket revenue and pay-per-view sales and live events and this and that and the other, right? And then the pandemic happens, and now they're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
I hope for their sake that they can come out from under this relatively quickly with the shows going back on the road.
So, can I give a little story here? The developer on this game is going to end up being Ukes, which has been the developer. Yeah. And Tom, as you obviously know, that's been the developer of WWE.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
Very long time.
So, like, you Ukes obviously you two are the big gamer guys, right? I'm a casual video game player. I know about Ukes. So, like, continue.
I've not been a fan of Uke's recent work. I'll be honest with you. I thought it got stale, but I'm kind of wondering how much that was just due to the yearly output that you got to just crank it out every year. It's an updated roster. We don't got time to make innovations. Yeah. So I'm hoping with this extra time that Ukes has, they know how to do the character models. It's fine. Maybe they could work a little bit better on the hair because I'm tired of hair clipping. That's annoying. If you know what I'm talking about.
It's real bad.
But, I really want BAGM mode. I want career mode. I want a story mode. I want SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 where I would have seasons. And I had like 5 seasons that I had of Be a Career to just take my created character from winning. And I would have to work my ass off to get from, you know, the Intercontinental United States, the Tag Team Championships up to be, you know, good enough to win a title.
So for those of you that are unaware, our friend Derek here is actually ranked number 2 in the world in Xbox. Number 1, you took it back?
I did.
Number 1 in the world in the Xbox of pro wrestling video games. So for me, this was an important topic to have Derek here for. Derek, do we think that if the game that Ukes designs is everything that everybody wants it to be, because like you said, it's grown stale over the last several years. But a lot of that had to do also with 2K not wanting to work with Ukes to make a better product, right? Well, you heard the same rumors that I heard.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of that. You know, they just wanted to do it basically a roster update. But if you would look back on the fans and the forums and all that, the real thing that we're all asking for is, for one, more created arenas, create characters options, create story mode options. We want to be able to create our own shows, universe mode, basically. And you know, it's just gotten so freaking complicated, and they don't include all the features. It's weird what they do. And the story mode is dog shit. Like, guys.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
So from my perspective as somebody who plays, I don't play wrestling games really intensely. I do play them. But I mean, I play kind of everything. My thoughts, though, go back to, at some point, wrestling games went from being this like arcade, super fun, like kind of game to like this very simulated sort of like how quickly can you press R1 to dodge or block or whatever. It became stale in a way where it became like, well, you have to be good at this, but if you've played this for years on end, you're going to be good at it because it's the same thing every year. But it's not pick up and play, especially 5 or 10 years into this. It's not pick up and play. It's not fun to the newbie. It's really just frustrating. And from my opinion, it really needs to go almost all the way back to that sort of like WrestleMania 2000 No Mercy type of
there was no better Nintendo 64 game than WCW versus the NWO. That was the best Nintendo 64
World Tour
game ever.
That was really good. Actually, I would argue that WWF WrestleMania 2000 was the pinnacle. It had more modes, it had more characters, it had more customization. I would argue that was the pinnacle, although lots of other people would say it's No Mercy. But so from my perspective, I think it needs to like take that as its base, right? The just like entry level, like
games were fun, man.
Right. Any idiot can jump in here and have a good time. However, it needs to now also be deep enough to where you can put this on hard and have a significant challenge, but there needs to be like levels of difficulty. You know, it's like, okay, well, this is easy. Okay, well, this is normal. This is medium. This is hard. And, you know, the AI, it's come a long way since Nintendo 64. The AI needs to be able to adapt to that. And, you know, so you got your Dark Souls fans who would be into a very overly difficult type of game. But you know, you got your casual wrestling fans that maybe, you know, only buy a couple games a year, and you know, gaming's not their thing. They just have an Xbox or a PlayStation laying around, and it's like, yeah, I'll try this wrestling game.
And you know what, pal?
In WWE 2K19, we actually did have that with the AJ Styles Golden Tower, and it was nice. I mean, it was a challenge that took me a good 6 months of actually going at it to finally get through. You had one life, you know, you don't get regenerative health. It's your AJ Styles, and you got to go through 20 guys. Enjoy.
I mean, that's something like that would be good. But I mean, I'm saying there needs to also be that very base level of just like, you know, hey, you put this together and you're going to have a fun wrestling match with, you know, you by using these 4 buttons, and you don't have to be ready to like dodge or revert. The reverse mechanism, mechanic
drives me nuts.
It turns me off immediately, because not that I can't press. Not that I can't press R1, right? Like if I got in tune to it and obviously learn but I don't want to put that kind of time in to know to get that. It's not worth it to me.
So Tom, to your point, like, you know, that was one thing that like Derek and I always talked about. It's like, bro, I really like enjoy wrestling games, but they're really hard for me. Like, I'm a casual gamer, right? They're really hard for me to dedicate time into learning controls and shit like that. And then Battlegrounds came out, right? And that was supposed to be that harkening back to those simpler times that you're talking about, right, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed the game because I'm a button masher, and I could win matches and do shit with story mode as a button masher, right? I enjoyed it. But there's problems with it.
It's just not. It's everybody's moveset's pretty much the same.
Right.
There's no special entrance. It's just not. It's not polished. It's
because it was a rush job. They lost Ukes, and they were like, well, we got to fucking put something out because we've got to get paid.
And I mean, you know, I'm not saying that they put out a crap game or anything. They just put out a game that, like, it was $40.
Needed some more polish.
It was cheaper because they spent less money, less time. There were no entrances. There was no, you know, it was.
If you wanted to, you could microtransaction the shit out of it, though. That's for sure.
They did do that too. I mean, they always do that.
So
they always.
At least they're not as bad as EA, where you have to have your online league and get cards and build a team, and
it's almost look. That's just FIFA, but like this is almost that bad. Like the 2K stuff is almost that bad.
I don't know, man.
It really is. It's like next tier, because like you could be on EA and play like Jedi Fallen Order, and there's no microtransactions in that. Or you could play,
all right, but if I play NHL, and I'd love to play NHL, but I won't play it every year because it tears down my achievement completion percentage. Because I'm not going to go through, like, the last one I played was 2017. I've completed 15, 16, 17. I'm like, screw it, I'm done. It takes so much work to get to the Stanley Cup and Hut online that I'm like, nope, I'm good. I don't want to put 200 hours into a sports game to complete it.
Oh, and you have to play 200-300 online matches, which is insanity.
See, like, I play NHL, I pick it up, I'm playing 3s or I'm playing 1s. Like that's where it's at for me. So like
3s is fun.
3s is a lot. So is 1s. 1s is hard, man. 1s is real hard, but it's so much fun. Like when you get really good at it. I'll be sitting down here, man. My thumbs hurt and shit trying to play 1s. But listen, so Derek, I'm surprised you're kind of quiet on this whole thing. Like, you said your piece, and then you're like just kind of done. Like this is your wheelhouse we're talking about here, bud.
What, for Battlegrounds?
No, I'm talking about wrestling video games in general. Like,
what do you want out of AEW's game? Do you want it to be more arcadey, pick up and play? Because that's what I want.
I don't want that at all. No, I don't. I mean, if you want to have 2 different control schemes, that's fine. But I don't want that.
Or maybe like a NHL 94 mode.
If you want to do that, I mean, it is what it is. If you want to have 4-button mode, that's fine. You could do something like that to just use the face buttons.
I mean, EA and NHL does it. Why can't?
At this point, I'm used to using the sticks and the modifiers up top, the reverse buttons, right trigger. But honestly, every year they do change a few different things. Yeah, they do anyway. It's crazy. You got to learn it every year. But it's worth it to me to learn it. I've got to admit, 2009 has been my favorite. I'm not saying that that's better than the N64 ones. They're fantastic. It's actually 2 shelves above me. I actually looked up earlier, like I should have grabbed the case and pulled it down, but it's too. I'd have to stand up. It'd be mad drama.
Too late now.
Not worth it. But no, man, I would love to see another 2009 version where you actually have to work your way up the ladder, a la AEW's ladder ranking system. So that would be perfect to integrate that into the game. And that's exactly what I enjoyed about 2009. I didn't even come in here planning to explain that. That just kind of organically happened. So it's got to be a great idea.
So we talk about this, right? And like, I'm glad we kind of got to go off topic. Well, not really off topic, but a little bit. Let you guys kind of flex your video game muscles a little bit, right? Man, I really want AEW to put out a banger of a console game. I really do.
Oh, me too. Nothing would make me happier.
And the thing is, if they flop this console release with this recent financial update, this could be real fucking bad.
Yeah, that could fold the company, and you're not wrong. I don't want it to be. Remember when TNA put out a game?
Oh, it was bad. Derek probably has 3 copies of it.
I do. Yeah, 2 sealed, 1 unsealed. Yeah,
I have it on PS3. It's not. But yeah, I mean, if it's that, it's gonna be bad because they went into debt and took on some debt, and if the game then just doesn't make money.
That game was trash.
So
it was so hard. Not hard. It wasn't hard. It just didn't control well enough to be playable.
Exactly. It was one of those that you better learn those controls, and you're not going to play any other game at that moment if you want to actually be good at that game, because you got to remember those weird ass funky controls.
It was.
I have those from time to time in my completion.
I worked my way through it. I did. But it was not it wasn't pleasant. There was a point where it just became unfair, where people would reverse or block my finishing move, and it was like, what? How is this fair? I've dominated this match, and then they would block my finishing move or something, and then it was like, well, now they're just gonna take over, and it's like there's nothing I can do now.
So there used to be a game, AAA Lucha Libre Heroes del Ring, that was for Xbox and 360 and PS3. That was freaking unfair. That game was ridiculous. Basically, the only way you could win was just to beat them up outside of the ring, and then wait till they get to a 9 count, and then hurry up and skip last second.
So you win. Here's what I'm gonna say. Okay, and so everybody knows that the AEW ref Aubrey Edwards is in charge of overseeing this game, right?
Okay. Well, if Ref Aubrey's
in Kenny, I've heard.
Okay.
Yes. So, hey, Aubrey Edwards, if you're listening to Derek, who is the #1 Xbox wrestling video
only
game
on
guy
Xbox
in the world, I said Xbox, pal.
That's important though. That's that's a big platform.
You need to listen to the community, and if y'all don't believe me, that my man up here is #1. Shame on you, because I've been in that room that he's sitting in, and there is nothing but wrestling video games in there. Several thousand copies of every single one. But listen, I really want this game to do really well, and if it doesn't, that means that we're gonna miss out on a lot of good stuff that AEW is trying to work towards.
I agree.
So this game needs to happen.
It's gonna make me
I'll
sad.
buy it. Look. As long as trailers and stuff look good and they explain it, and I think they just really need to be upfront about it.
Yeah, how
it's going to control, what their ideals are with it, and everything. And if they are, I'll pre-order it and buy it because I want to support the product clearly. And
you wouldn't have said that fucking 9 weeks ago, though.
I want them to be successful, and I want them to put out a good look. I want to play. I haven't played a good wrestling video game since
that's fair.
Since WWE All Stars from 2011.
That's fair.
That was
it's
good.
been a long time. It's a great
So,
one. I loved it. It's
yeah.
awesome.
Guys, match of the week.
Oh, we're there. Oh, good.
Match of the
week.
week.
I'm first. I forgot. I'm first in match of the week. So my match of the week, it's Wednesday, so I did get to watch NXT on Tuesday. My match, the week, was the very good match, the main event from NXT. Mr. Tommaso, Old Man Ciampa, and Toothless Timmy versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. And it was a great match. Look, Grizzled Young Veterans know what they're doing inside of the ring. They're the young, less polished version of okay.
Listen, I just want to say I've been saying this
for
a lot of weeks, and both of y'all have disagreed with me.
Okay, look, this put me over the hump for them. They're no flips, just fists. They're FTR. Okay, they're British FTR,
but they're better.
FTR's better, you mean?
No.
Okay, I mean, look, FTR gives better promos. I think it's the promos that really.
It's because they're British. They're British.
Maybe they're British. Maybe. But no, this was a great match. I enjoyed it very much. Timothy Thatcher, since becoming Toothless Timmy, has grown on me exponentially.
But the thing is, he's still the same guy.
I know, but
that doesn't matter. He's still interesting.
But Derek was in here putting over his no gimmick fucking like 8 weeks ago. He's like, oh,
I'm happy that he has no gimmick.
I like that he's ugly and toothless, and he's the henchman,
and he's good.
He's good, and he's Tommaso Ciampa's henchman now, and I like that. So all of those things combined, when he was by himself and just kind of a jag off, it's fine. It's fine. Look, it was great. It was a good match. It was a really straight tornado tag. God, we were just talking about video games. When have you seen a tornado tag recently not in a video game? I can't think of it. I feel like a tornado tag only exists because of video games prior to them being able to.
They were big back in the 90s.
We had video games in the 90s with them.
No, but I'm just saying, like, the tornado tag was big in the 90s.
Right, I'm just saying that, like, I feel like the tornado tag sort of came up at some point, like, in the 80s somewhere, where they were like, well, we can't really figure out how to do the tag right, so let's just put both of them in the ring and call it a tornado tag. I feel like that was the birth of it. Because for the longest time, like in the very early 90s, you didn't really see those, and it just wasn't a thing. And I feel like, for me, Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher clearly being very good, and the Grizzled Young Veterans clearly just being very good. Just like, hey, guys, you're going to do the main event this week. What do you want to do? I want to do something crazy that we never see. Let's do a tornado tag match and make it good. Because usually, like, I know what you're talking about, Walt, in the 90s. Those were shitty. Those were real bad. They were just clusterfucks of like, oh, it's mayhem here. And like they would like JR would sell it as just like, oh, all hell is broken loose. And it wasn't necessarily that it was like all hell broke loose. It's like, this is a dumb idea. Like, why would we just why would we just let this happen? But they made it work. And not only did they make it work, it's my match of the week. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and the right men won. So,
did the Grizzled Young Veterans name doesn't even make sense? How can you be grizzled and young, but also veterans? Like this,
you gotta start really young and like take your licks as a child.
They're terrible. I hate them. They're boring. They've got nothing.
I can't deal with you.
Nothing about them screams, I want to watch this match.
I agree with Tom. That was my match of the week as well. Derek, we got
match that's of the bullshit. Week. You just didn't have a match of the fucking week.
No, I mean, it's Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. Like, those are four of my favorite people in the.
All right, well, so I'm a sucker for a ladder match. I love ladder matches. Money in the Bank is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. So I've got to go with the In Your House NXT LA Knight.
I had a good time with that.
It's terrible. I hate this. I hate LA Knight.
Listen, pal.
But Cameron Grimes,
he's making chicken shit out of chicken, or chicken out of chicken
moon.
shit, pal.
Yeah, he really is. I feel bad for the guy.
He's talented.
Yeah, to the moon, Cameron Grimes. Unfortunately, he lost. I was totally pulling for him. I really think this is not over yet. Obviously,
he took an amazing bump. Cameron Grimes took an incredible bump.
Huge bump onto that ladder. Did he not?
That was a great bump.
Yeah.
How great?
That was the biggest bump of the night.
How great has his rivalry with Ted DiBiase been?
Amazing.
Dude, ever since that whole GameStop thing happened and he became the hillbilly millionaire, his character has just
bumpkin
for me that made the turn. Excuse me, of course.
So I was super into Cameron Grimes before.
I was high on him too,
because I was not. I wanted Dexter to win that crap. And you went all out saying it was terrible.
Prior to Dexter Lumis, I was super into Cameron Grimes. We're like he was just dangerous, and like he the cave in came in out of nowhere. Like you didn't see people doing that shit. It just that move to me was just like, oh my god, it was such a pop for me.
Yep.
And then they kind of took that away, and they're like, Grimes,
and I said that I thought that they wussified him a little bit,
Absolutely, they did, and I don't think he's fully recovered from that either. I feel like he went from like really dangerous and like fearless to like he's still cautious. I mean, he's not running away from shadows anymore. But
listen, I'm into it, pal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all good.
It's good. Look, it's far and away better than what they were doing with him and Dexter Lumis. So yeah, let's just keep going there. And I'm a big fan of LA Knight too. I think he was great when he was in NWA, and I think he's great on NXT. And I'm into what's going on. Like he just exudes like he's gonna get go away heat. I feel like that's kind of the bad part about it, but he gets heat really well. So it is what it is. But yeah, good match. Good matches.
Yeah. Great week. Gentlemen. Awesome. Glad we could all get together. I was a little concerned whenever we didn't hear from our little buddy for a couple of days.
I was
I'm
glad it was just an electricity issue.
Yeah, previously, like it takes mad effort for me to get a hold of you guys on an electricity thing, and I was just tired this weekend, man. It's like I'm sick of it. I've been mowing grass, and then now the freaking power goes out, and I just don't have it in me.
Generator, like,
yeah.
Well, country living is a bitch.
Because when I went there today, he was like, no power, man. It just man. He's like, you think I'd have a better generator situation than I do, considering where I live. And he's like, there's like one power pole out there.
How much is a generator? It can't be that much.
I've got one. It's on the back porch. But here's the thing. I've got to run an extension cord to anything that I want to power. So basically that means the refrigerator and the freezer, like the big chest freezer. So
you need to spend the couple $1,000s and get the Generac, pal.
No, I've got a plan. I've already got a box out front. I actually caulked it today and made it weather tight.
Listen,
I'm going to move my generator into my box.
What you did with your caulk is none of our
moving
business.
That generator into the box. I'm drilling a hole in my floor, and I'm going to hook that baby up to the dryer vent. Well, not the dryer vent, the dryer plug, Good old 220, backfeed it, little action like that.
So what you're saying is you're going to be able to do laundry without power?
No laundry, no stove or microwave.
Sorry, you can build a little fire, roast marshmallows.
I'll have lights all through the house. Internet, TV, all that good stuff. The neighbors will be jealous. In the holler.
You mean your parents and your grandparents?
No, they can both already do that. My grandparents actually have that nice automatic whole home generator that's just
that's
boom.
Which you need to buy, pal.
Oh all right. Well, maybe once the podcast gets me $10,000, then maybe I can do that.
There we go. Wow. Do you just go hang out at your grandparents' house? Is that what happens when the power goes out?
No, usually I'll go to my parents because they've got it to where they can backfeed it into their house already. So,
because your dad's not a idiot.
Do they have air? So does he have air conditioning too? If the power is out?
So the way that he built his house, it's so insulated because it's made of concrete and styrofoam that he just uses a window unit. So yeah.
I love that I just dragged this out for
You really did.
I'm trying to fucking go home here.
Meanwhile, I'm like, so what's your parents' house built?
It's not.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the IP address of their security camera?
It's time for somebody to take the stunner in the 1, 2, 3. Okay. Can we just can we go home, please?
Okay. Sorry. My bad.
Okay. We good?
I did that on purpose.
It was funny. You got me.
Okay.
Especially because I got a surprise in the middle for everybody.
Surprise.
Yeah. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you know that we exist. Please like and subscribe. I put videos out every Friday morning. Except for this week. I don't really know what happened. I scheduled it.
Are you naked in the videos?
You didn't hit save.
I definitely saved it. I know I did.
It's YouTube.
Are you in Google?
I know I did it. But anyways, like and subscribe. Leave some comments. We haven't had anybody comment in a while.
Or subscribe. You should do that. We've been stuck at 23. I'm sick of 23.
I think we got 2 today.
Did we?
Yeah.
Well,
2 of Lindsay's friends were asking how the podcast was doing. And Lindsay says it's lots. He has lots of fun. That's my wife's standard response. He has lots of fun.
I don't like that response.
Well, whatever.
That sounds like
I'm sitting in the basement drinking bourbon, talking wrestling.
It sounds too much like honesty.
Fucking honesty.
Well, I mean, you have met my wife, pal.
Tom's my favorite person.
Fucking honesty.
So listen, check us out on Instagram and Twitter at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. You're better off coming to Instagram and following that social media because the person that runs that one is actually interactive and posts things and talk to the community.
Right. Yeah, do that.
Yeah, so do that. And hey, I saw that. What was this?
It was community.
What was this? Do you guys don't even know how many followers we have on Instagram, do you?
I don't know how on Instagram.
I'm going to go with 38.
You're way off, pal.
99.
6.
Anyways, follow us on Instagram. I'm glad that these guys are real high on the Instagram profile.
3,800.
You're closer.
No way.
Anyways,
all of us at Twitter. Even though I don't post stuff consistently.
I love you, pal. I'm glad you're not dead. Thanks for the Funko. Like, I'm not even gonna take this out of the box, pal. Like,
there's no unboxing.
I can't. It's a gift, bud.
It is pretty sweet, ain't it?
Yeah. It's pretty dope. I appreciate it. So, yeah, with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast.
Peace out.